Everyone is interesting. Everyone is valid. We are all human.
Hi, Leslie. Thank you so much for being in this digital space with me. I am honestly looking forward to our interview today.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for inviting me.
So you've been a part of an extensive list of series and films like Deputy, Criminal Minds, East Meets West. And besides that, you've also grown up in Africa, Europe, and the US. So I was wondering, what is the main difference between growing up in the US and in Europe?
In the US, there's this unspoken attitude that you must produce.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not producing, you don't have any value, right? If the most important value is how much money you make, you have a very empty society.
Like, do you think when we look at gender equality, like it's used as this big buzzing word, but do you feel like there's a different approach when we look at the US and Europe at how gender equality is handled, let's say?
So when you talk about gender equality, everyone has to look at the fact that we have been ruled and dominated by a patriarchal approach. Even in the world of film, because it's dominated by a male mentality,
Yeah.
it's like 10 to 15 roles for men versus one role for a woman. And then the one woman role is the gorgeous thing that you possess,
Mm-hmm.
or the barmaid, or the whore, or the prostitute. Women are seen as sexually desirable creatures,
Yeah.
right? So how are you going to film a woman and her story? Are you going to still film it like she's this, this group of body parts that will, attract the viewer to want to see more?
Mm-hmm.
Or can we go beyond woman as a beautiful object?
Have you also experienced this during your career in film and TV? Or I mean, it's an obvious question, but I'd like to hear what you have to say about it.
Okay, well, first of all, there are all kinds of people, and there are many wonderful people and many wonderful men.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're talking about is the mindset, that thing that's below the surface, humming along like a toxic river.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
There was a time in my life where I could not tell the difference between a compliment and what was inappropriate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I grew up in the toxic soup.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there are times where when you want approval and you want the job, you actually think that men's advances are, oh, how nice, I'm going to get the job because they think I'm really pretty or they think I'm sexy,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? But what you're not realizing is that you don't have to accept the way they're talking to you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So you're saying, we have to address it, and more women are speaking up or sharing their truth. And how important is it, do you think, that also more women tell their stories through film? Because often it's still a male storyteller.
It's really, really important that we, as a film culture, as storytellers, get used to everyone's stories.
Yeah.
But first, we had to recognize that most of the stories being told were being told from the male perspective,
Mm-hmm.
right? The more women that are writing their stories, and the more that women directors, women cinematographers are waking up to what they sometimes do.
Mm-hmm.
The way they shoot women, the way they learned to shoot women as opposed to shooting men.
Yeah.
They need to realize how they've been trained,
Mm-hmm.
so that they can rethink how the visuals are going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a more balanced culture,
Mm-hmm.
everyone is interesting. Everyone is valid. We are all human.
Mm-hmm.
We feel.
Yeah, exactly.
We bleed.
Mm-hmm.
We have histories. We have relationships. We've all been devastated. We've all felt victorious. We're human.
Mm-hmm.
And until it is recognized that humanity is important,